This is the history of our foremother Judith, who was a very beautiful, godly woman who was deeply devoted to God and to the nation of Israel. She lived during the time of the Assyrian captivity. There was a certain king named Nebuchadnezzar, king of the Assyrians, who wanted to put the whole earth under his rule. He commanded the chief captain of his army named Holofernes, if there were any that did not conform, he was to utterly destroy them off of the face of the earth. Therefore were the children of Israel very afraid, for they had newly returned from captivity and had all the house of the Lord and the temple sanctified unto the Lord God. So they fortified their walls and passages to the city and made ready. They did cry unto the Lord for mercy and compassion to save them from this wicked heathen, who had in his mind to defile the sanctuary and the people to blaspheme against the one true living God of Israel. It was reported to Holofernes that the children of Israel were preparing for war. So he inquired of one of his captains and said, "Who are these people? How big is their army? And why haven't they come and surrendered and given all they have as the other nations before me?" His servant responded to Holofernes truthfully and told him that this be the people whose God is the God of heaven, whom did destroy the king of Egypt that rose up against this people, and their God slew many nations for his people Israel. But when they departed from the way he appointed them, they were destroyed and carried away captives. But if they cried unto him and kept his law, their God did fight and destroy nations for them. Now therefore, my king, if there be any iniquity in this people, let now my king go up against them, for surely their God will not fight for them. But if there be no iniquity in this people, let not my king go up and fight against this people, lest their God fight for them, and my king be destroyed. Now when Holofernes heard these words, he was very furious and did not believe such words that came from his captain, so he cast him out from his army and sent him to be destroyed with the children of Israel. The children of Israel were very distressed and afraid now that they had gotten word that Holofernes and his army were preparing for war against them, and that he went to the valley and cut off their water supply. So the people of Israel were without water for a couple of days, and the elders of the city counseled amongst themselves to surrender to Holofernes and his army if God did not deliver them from this thirst, that the people and their children not die of thirst. Judith, knowing that God was merciful and mighty to deliver her people from the hand of this wicked tyrant and his army, she used much wisdom of words and spoke with the elders to trust in God for their salvation. But the elders were more persuaded by the cries of the people than the wisdom of Judith. So she, being a wise woman, convinced the elders to open the gates of the city at night, and that she would find a way with the power of God to save the people. So Judith, praying and fasting, left the city at night with her maid carrying her bag of food. They went to the Assyrian camp at night at the witch. The guards on watch brought her to their captain. When they all saw her, they were very amazed and consumed by her beauty and her wisdom. For she told them that she was of the children of Israel and have fled from her people, because God had shown her that Holofernes and his army would utterly destroy the children of Israel. So she fled seeking mercy from the king. This saying pleased Holofernes very much, and he thought within himself, "What nation has women as beautiful as the children of Israel? It's not good that any of their men should live." So he embraced Judith gladly into his mercy, and was so captivated by her beauty, he invited her to one of his banquets that he made to celebrate his soon victory over the children of Israel. This night Holofernes consumed more wine than he ever had since he was born, and invited Judith to his tent. He sent all his servants away. He drank so much wine, he passed out on his bed. So Judith grabbed a sword that was by him and prayed to the Lord for strength. With 2 swings, she chopped Holofernes' head off and put his head in the bag she brought with her. So in the night Judith and her handmaid fled back to the city and shouted, "Open the gates, open the gates." When it was morning, Holofernes' servant came to his tent to check on the well-being of his lord. When he came in, he discovered the body of his lord without his head, and he cried with a mighty cry throughout the camp, "The Hebrew women have dealt treacherously with us, and now Holofernes lies by his bed without a head." When the Assyrian army heard these words, great fear fell upon them, for they knew God was with the children of Israel, because he had killed their captain by the hand of a woman. Judith showed the people the head of Holofernes, the captain of the Assyrian army. The children of Israel rejoiced and gave glory to the God of Israel for saving them from a mighty nation through the hand of a faithful woman. Our foremother Judith is a great example of using her beauty and wisdom for righteousness, to save her people and to stay faithful to God even when all odds were against her.